to the Finance 360-degree session, and today's session is going to be very important because we are going to discuss the master direction of the Reserve Bank of India, that is regarding the NDS-OM. Okay, and here a big update has come that the Reserve Bank of India has allowed the stock brokers on the NDS-OM platform. So there is the Stock Broker Connect that has been introduced by the Reserve Bank of India. Okay, so we'll discuss that what is this Stock Broker Connect. We will discuss that what is this Stock Broker Connect, as well as we will discuss that how it is going to help the retail investors, as well as what the SEBI has said regarding this Stock Broker Connect and what norm or guidelines the SEBI has brought. That also we have to discuss, because remember that the stock brokers are under the SEBI guidelines, or they are registered under SEBI. So SEBI has also brought some guidelines for the stock brokers in this regards. Okay, so we'll discuss all of this so that you have clarity that what RBI has what guidelines RBI has released, what guidelines the SEBI has released. So we are going to discuss all of this in today's session. So do tell me if I am clearly audible and visible, if everything is fine. Okay, good morning Guru Raja, good morning Sorish, welcome to the session everyone. So let's start with the session. But before starting with the session, do subscribe to the YouTube channel of EduTap so that you continue getting these relevant videos, and do join our Telegram channel where you will get the PDF of the session. So you will get the PDF of the session in the Telegram channel, okay? And the link for the Telegram channel is provided in the description box below. So starting with the master direction, so the RBI has released the master direction for the access criteria for the NDS-OM for the negotiated dealing system order matching. So the directions has been released, and the master direction that are newly released, they are very important. Okay, so with a view, now why these directions have been released and what these directions are stating. So remember that in October 2024, the Reserve Bank of India had released a notification regarding the access to the NDS-OM platform, that who all have the access to the NDS-OM platform. We will understand that what is this NDS-OM platform, but before that just keep this in mind that this is the platform of the Reserve Bank of India. Okay, so RBI had released a notification in October 2024 regarding the direct and the indirect access for the NDS-OM platform. Now the RBI is saying that with a view to widen the access, the RBI said that the non-bank brokers registered with market regulator SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India, can directly access the NDS-OM. So here the RBI is saying that the non-bank brokers, if the banks are there, banks are already they are already having the direct access to the NDS-OM. But if you are a non-bank broker under the SEBI regulation, so you are a stock broker, under the regulation of the Securities and Exchange Board of India. So now you can also have a direct access to the NDS-OM platform, for which the RBI has released the Stock Broker Connect guidelines. Okay. So this is the basic idea, that the RBI is saying that with a view of widening the access to the NDS-OM, there is the access that is going to be provided to the non-bank brokers registered with the SEBI. Okay. Now why this has happened? So that the stock brokers, their clients, like they have numbers of clients, huge, in lakhs they have the clients, right? So these clients should get the direct, these clients should get the access to the NDS-OM platform. So that's why there is the connection that is provided for the stock brokers to directly access the NDS-OM platform. So let's understand the NDS-OM platform, so you have the better clarity that why this connection and what is all this about. Okay, so basically NDS-OM, basically the negotiated dealing system, this was introduced in 2002. It was initially introduced for the primary market trading in the government securities. Okay, so in the primary market, the Reserve Bank of India issues the government securities. On behalf of the government, the RBI issues the government securities in the primary market, that is bought by the banks, NBFCs and the other entities. Okay, and the other entities. So this is the primary market. Now before, the whole trading in the government securities was happening manually, that through the telephone, through the mails and such, the orders were placed with the RBI. So that was a very hectic and that was a very manual process. So in 2002, it was thought that we need to make this manual process a online process. We have to make it more digital so that it becomes more faster and more smooth. So that's why negotiated dealing system, this platform was introduced. The online platform was introduced for the primary trading in the government securities, for the primary issuance of the government securities. In 2005, in August 2005, the NDS-OM platform was introduced. That is the negotiated dealing system order matching platform. This is for the secondary market trading, because there is the secondary market where the banks, let's say a bank A has purchased the government security. Now the bank A wants to sell the government security and bank B, or let's say NBFC B or any entity, wants to buy this government security. So this is the secondary market trading where the investors are trading among themselves, right? So the negotiated dealing system, order matching system, this was brought by the Reserve Bank of India so that for the secondary market also the trading can happen in the online platform. Okay, so this is the idea that NDS initially was used for the issuance of the government securities in the primary market. In August 2005, the NDS-OM platform was introduced by the Reserve Bank of India, which was an electronic platform based anonymous order matching trading system for dealing in government securities in the secondary market, so that the investors can trade among themselves. They can sell and buy the different government securities amongst themselves. So this is NDS-OM platform for the secondary market trading in the government securities. I hope this is clear. Now it has been said that the stock brokers that are registered under the SEBI and that are following some guidelines, these stock brokers will have the direct access to the NDS-OM platform, so that the clients of the stock brokers, they can have access to the NDS-OM platform. So this is the broad idea. Now, as I have told you that in October 2024, there was a guideline that was released regarding the access to the NDS-OM platform, where it was defined that what is the direct access and what is the indirect access. Okay, so let me just, I have taken a session on this also, but in the master direction, again, there is the discussion about the direct access, indirect access and the stock broker connect. So let's discuss them briefly. Okay, so as you know that the guidelines on the access was released in October 2024, but the RBI has said that RBI has brought the revision in the access criteria with the inclusion of the stock brokers in the direct access criteria. Okay, the revised access criteria has been consolidated under the master direction of the Reserve Bank of India, access criteria for NDS-OM directions 2025. So this master direction is superseding the earlier direction that the RBI had released. Okay, now in the master direction there are three criteria. Okay, there is direct access, there is indirect access, and for the stock brokers specifically, there is stock broker connect, that is providing the access to the stock brokers of the NDS-OM platform. Okay, so now what is this direct access of the NDS-OM? Who can have the direct access of the NDS-OM? So it was said that first of all, direct access to the NDS-OM means that the entities, these entities, they can directly access the NDS-OM platform. They can initiate the transaction, or they can directly do the transaction, they can execute the transaction, they can report the transaction onto the NDS-OM platform, and such transactions are settled in its own subsidiary general ledger account. Okay, now let me tell you very briefly that if we are talking about SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India, there is the stock market that comes under SEBI, right? The stock brokers. So there are stock exchanges. Okay, stock exchanges, that is the NSE and BSE. There is the stock exchanges, that is the NSE and BSE. Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange. Now the stock exchanges, the stock brokers are the members of the stock exchanges. Stock brokers, they are the intermediaries that are connecting the people with the stock exchanges. So stock brokers like Zerodha, Grow, IND Money. So there are many stock brokers that are connecting the clients, or that are connecting the customers with the stock exchanges, with the NSE and BSE. Okay, now there is like the clients, they are purchasing through the stockbroker, they are initiating the trade, right? You are initiating the trade that I want 100 shares of Reliance Industries, I want 50 shares of ICICI Bank, I want 10 shares of HDFC Bank. So the client is initiating the trade through the stockbroker, Zerodha, Grow, IND Money, whatever stockbroker you are connected with. Now, when the trade is going to be settled, okay, through the clearing corporation, the trade will be cleared and settled, okay. Now, the clearing corporation has clearing members, because like the stock exchanges has stockbrokers as their members, as their intermediaries. So, clearing corporation like the CCIL that settles and clears the trade, they have the clearing members that are the members of the clearing corporation that help the clearing corporation in the clearing and settlement of the trade, okay. Now, after the trade was initiated by the stockbroker, the trade has been settled through the clearing member, through the clearing corporation, okay. With the help of clearing member, the trade has been settled through the clearing corporation. Now, after the settlement of the trade, where will your securities will go? The shares will go where? Anyone knows that where the securities go? Your securities are kept in the, so you will get after the settlement of the trade, you will get the shares. Let's say you are getting the shares in the demat form, in the dematerialized form. So where are you going to keep those shares that you have got in the dematerialized form? So for that, there are the depositories. Depositories are there that keep your shares in the demat form. Now the depositories are only two in our country, NSDL and CDSL. So we have two depositories in our country, NSDL and CDSL, okay. So this is the whole process, okay. The stock exchanges, they have the stockbrokers, Zerodha, IND Money, Grow and such. You initiate the trade through them. The trade is cleared and settled through the clearing corporation that has clearing members to help the clearing and settlement. And after your trade has been settled, after you have got the shares in the demat form, these shares actually are kept in the depositories with the NSDL or with the CDSL, okay. This is the whole process that happens. So here, now, if the government, now under the Reserve Bank of India, the government securities are being bought and sold through the NDS-OM platform. Through the NDS-OM platform, let's say the government securities are being bought and sold between the investors, okay, in the secondary market. In the secondary market, through the NDS-OM platform, the government securities are being bought and sold. So now these government securities, it's not like that you are getting the papers and such. The government securities also, you are getting it in the demat form. So now these government securities, will they be kept in the CDSL or NSDL? No, they will be kept in the subsidiary ledger account, okay, subsidiary general ledger account. So this is the idea that government securities, they are largely issued as stocks. So government securities, they are also issued as stocks, and they are held in dematerialized form, in the demat form, to the credit of the holder in the subsidiary general ledger account maintained in the books of RBI. So like your shares, your bonds, they are being kept in the demat form in the NSDL or CDSL in the depositories. The government securities, they do not go to the depositories. The government securities, they are held with the subsidiary general ledger account that is maintained in the books of the RBI. I hope this is very much clear. I hope this is very much clear, okay. So government securities, they are largely issued as stocks, and they are held in the demat form, in the subsidiary general ledger account maintained in the books of RBI. Now these subsidiary general ledger accounts, they can be opened by the subsidiary general ledger accounts. They are the accounts of the banks, NBFCs and such entities that have the direct access to the NDS-OM platform. Now let's say you and me, if we are trading in the government securities, we have to open a constituent subsidiary general ledger account, okay. So that is what we have to do, because we do not have the direct access to the NDS-OM platform. All the entities that have the direct access to the NDS-OM platform, they have to open, or they need to have a subsidiary general ledger account, because they will directly get the government securities in the subsidiary general ledger account. I hope this is clear. So direct access shall mean access to NDS-OM wherein an entity can directly do the transaction in the NDS-OM platform. They can directly execute, report the transaction onto the platform, and such transactions are settled in its own subsidiary general ledger account. So which entities can have direct access to the NDS-OM? The banks, the standalone primary dealers, they are the ones that trade a lot in the government securities. Non-banking financial companies, including housing finance companies, all India financial institutions, the mutual funds, the provident funds, pension funds, insurance companies, regulated market infrastructure institutions. So market infrastructure institutions means the stock exchanges, the clearing corporation, and the depositories. Here we are not talking about the stockbroker. Here we are not talking about the clearing members and such. Okay. So market infrastructure institutions, they are the major institutions in the share market, okay, like all stock exchanges, all clearing corporation, all depositories. So they are the main entities, the market infrastructure institutions. They can have direct access to the NDS-OM platform, okay. So here only the market infrastructure institutions are mentioned. Their intermediaries or their like stock brokers or the clearing members, they were not mentioned here, okay. So this is the idea. Any other entity that the Reserve Bank of India may specifically permit, they can also have the direct access. So this is the basic idea, okay. Now if you need to have direct access, what do you require? So entities that are eligible to seek direct access to NDS-OM, what will they require? First of all, they will require the SGL account, with the Reserve Bank of India, okay. So banks, NBFCs that are having the direct access to the NDS-OM, they need to have the SGL account with the Reserve Bank of India, so that when they are doing the trade in the government securities, their government securities can be kept in the demat form in the SGL account with the RBI. Now they also require the current account with the RBI or with the designated settlement bank, okay, with a designated settlement bank that has the authority to have the current account and do the transaction. So current account is required because if you are getting the government securities, you need to pay for that, you need to pay money for that. So money will be deducted from your current account, or money, let's say you are selling the government security, so you will get the money in your current account. So current account is required for the transaction to happen. So current account should be kept with the Reserve Bank or with the designated settlement bank. As well as you need to have the membership. So the bank that want to have the direct access to NDS-OM, the mutual funds or the NBFCs that want to have the direct access to the NDS-OM, they need to have the membership of the Securities Settlement Segment of the Clearing Corporation of India Limited, that is a clearing corporation, okay. So these are the requirement for having the direct access to the NDS-OM platform, okay. Now let's say that you are a individual, you are not a bank, you are not a mutual fund entity, you are not a provident fund entity, you are not an NBFC, you are like me, or you are a single individual investor. So you can have that indirect access to NDS-OM through your bank, through your mutual fund, or let's say through your NBFC. Okay, so you can have the indirect access, you can have your indirect access to the NDS-OM through the bank, through the NBFC, and these banks and NBFCs, they have the direct access, so they have the SGL account. So you and me, we will have a constituent, when we are having the indirect access, we will have a constituent subsidiary general ledger account that is maintained with the RBI, but that is under the bank, okay, because bank has the subsidiary general ledger account and they are giving us the permission to, like, they are opening our constituent subsidiary general ledger account under this SGL account, okay. So we can have indirect access. So the people that cannot have direct access to the NDS-OM, they can have indirect access. This shall mean access to NDS-OM wherein an entity undertake its transaction through another entity. So we are doing the transaction in the government securities through some other entity, that is the bank or NBFC, that has direct access to the NDS-OM and which assumes responsibility for the settlement of such transactions, and the bank or NBFC under their SGL account, they will open the constituent subsidiary general ledger account for the indirect access to the customer, to the people, okay. So this is the basic idea. So for the direct access, you require SGL account, current account and you require the membership, okay? But for the indirect access, you just need to connect with the bank or NBFC or any entity to have the indirect access. Now, if you want to know more about the direct access or indirect access, so we have discussed all of this in the previous session. So there you can read everything or you can listen everything in detail. Here I have provided you the brief understanding. Now coming to the main point, that is stockbroker connect. Any confusion anyone has till now? See, stockbroker connect, basically the stockbrokers, if they are eligible, the eligible stockbrokers that want to provide the access to their individual clients, they can, so stockbrokers, if they want that their individual clients, that their individual constituents should get access to the NDS platform, to the NDS-OM platform, so these eligible stockbrokers, they can get access to the NDS-OM platform. So if the stockbrokers, they want, yes, if the stockbrokers, they want to they want that their clients should get the access to the NDS-OM platform, so the stockbrokers can get the access to the NDS-OM platform to provide the access to the individual clients, individual constituents and such. Now, first of all, who are these eligible stockbrokers? Who are the eligible investors? So let's discuss this, then we will come back to this point, okay? So eligible stockbroker is a stockbroker that is registered with the SEBI under the general approval of SEBI or under the specific approval of SEBI. Now, remember that the stockbrokers, they can get access to the NDS-OM platform. But actually the stockbrokers, they do not maintain the SGL account with the RBI. They do not maintain the current account with the RBI or with the designated settlement bank and such. So how the stockbrokers will get the access to the NDS-OM platform? Because if you want direct access, you need to have SGL account, you need to have the current account with the RBI or with the designated settlement bank, you need to have the membership of the security segment of CCIL. So here there is a separate guideline that is provided for the stockbrokers, that is Stockbroker Connect. So a stockbroker will be eligible to get the access to the NDS-OM platform if first of all they are registered with SEBI, and second of all the stockbroker has an agreement with an entity that is member of the security settlement segment of CCIL. So that is clearing member, because CCIL is the clearing corporation. CCIL is the clearing corporation that settles and clears the trade, okay? So the members of clearing corporation is the clearing member. They are the member of the clearing corporation that help the clearing corporation in the settlement and clearance of the trade. I hope this is clear, right? So the members of the clearing corporation, the members of the Clearing Corporation of India Limited, so they, if the stockbroker has an agreement with an entity that is a member of the CCIL, the member of the security segment of the CCIL, in terms of which the clearing member, it is taking the responsibility. It is taking the responsibility for the settlement of transactions undertaken by the clients of the stockbroker. So stockbroker should be registered with the SEBI, as well as the stockbroker need to have an agreement with a clearing member, that is a member of the security segment of the CCIL. So there is an agreement that is required by the stockbroker with this clearing member, and the clearing member will take the responsibility of settling the transactions on behalf of the clients of the stockbroker. So these are the eligible stockbrokers that are registered with the SEBI and that have the agreement with the clearing member. So here it is written under the guidelines that there is a settlement arrangement that is required. So the name of the clearing member of the CCIL with whom agreement is in place for settlement of transactions undertaken by the clients of the stockbrokers, undertaken by the individual clients, individual members or individual customers of the stockbroker, okay? So there is a settlement arrangement that is required by the stockbroker with the clearing member, okay? So whenever the stockbrokers, they want to if the stockbroker, they want to access the NDS-OM for their clients, so the stockbroker, they have to send the application to the Reserve Bank of India that we want to access the NDS-OM for our clients, so that our clients can have the access to the NDS-OM platform. So the stockbrokers, when they are sending the application to the RBI, they have to show this settlement arrangement that with this particular clearing member, we have done a arrangement, we have done a agreement, okay? So this is the idea. Now, who are the eligible investors? So any individual investor who maintains a demat account with SEBI registered depository. So these individual investors, they are eligible investors that can access the NDS-OM platform through their stockbroker, So NDS-OM platform is made available for access by non-bank brokers, by the stockbrokers registered with the SEBI to facilitate trades of retail investors. Okay, so this is the basic idea, that through the stockbroker connect, there is the access that is provided to the stockbroker of the NDS-OM platform, so that the access is provided, or so that the retail investors can trade in the NDS-OM platform. Okay, now for this, stockbroker needs to be eligible. Stockbrokers need to be registered with the SEBI, and stockbroker needs to be registered with SEBI, as well as they need to have a settlement arrangement with the clearing member. So this is the idea. So NDS-OM platform is made available for access by non-bank stockbrokers if they are eligible stockbrokers registered with SEBI to facilitate the trade of retail investors. So this is the idea, okay? So now an eligible stockbroker, as per the eligibility criteria, the eligible stockbroker that desires of providing access to its individual clients maintaining demat account, with the SEBI registered depository, registered with SEBI to NDS-OM. So if the eligible stockbroker, they want to provide access to its individual clients or constituents, the access to the NDS-OM platform, so the eligible stockbroker may make an application. They have to send an application to the Chief General Manager of the Financial Market Regulation Department of the Reserve Bank of India. Okay, so they will get the access. If they are eligible, they will get the access to the NDS-OM platform, and their clients or their customers will be able to trade using the NDS-OM platform. So this is the broad idea, this is the whole idea. Okay, so this is the idea. The Reserve Bank may, after being satisfied that the applicant fulfills the eligibility criteria, permit the applicant to provide access to NDS-OM to its constituents or clients, subject to any terms and conditions they have to follow. Okay, while granting such permission, the Reserve Bank of India, when the stockbroker is sending the application, and while granting the permission to this stockbroker, the RBI can take further more additional information from the stockbroker. Okay, so RBI can call for any additional information or seek any clarification from the applicant, can take the additional information from the applicant, as well as obtain any additional information or recommendation from the other regulators or other agencies also. Okay, the approval given to the stockbroker is not transferable. It's not like that a stockbroker can transfer the the approval to any other stockbroker. That is not possible. And Reserve Bank of India may initiate such steps as may be necessary, like imposing additional conditions if the stockbroker violate any of the terms and conditions of the RBI. Okay, now the Reserve Bank of India may suspend or terminate the approval if the eligibility, the stockbroker, let's say the settlement arrangement of the stockbroker with the clearing member has finished. So now the stockbroker has no arrangement with any clearing member. So the eligibility criteria is not being followed by the stockbroker. So as soon as the eligibility criteria cease to continue, so as soon as there is the eligibility criteria that is not being followed, so the approval will be suspended by the Reserve Bank of India. Let's say the SEBI has cancelled the certificate of registration of a stockbroker. So now this stockbroker is not registered by SEBI anymore. So then also the eligibility criteria is not being followed. So the RBI will suspend the approval, okay, for the NDS-OM. If let's say if the stockbroker has violated a statutory, a legal provision, if the stockbroker has committed a market abuse in the NDS-OM in the government securities market, if the stockbroker has violated any of the terms and conditions given by the Reserve Bank of India while approving the stockbroker in the NDS-OM platform, so the stockbroker has violated the term and condition of RBI. Continuance of, if the stockbroker continues to provide the access to NDS-OM, there is some problems that are coming. It is prejudicial to the public public interest or financial system. So if any of these things are happening, the RBI can suspend or terminate the approval of the stockbroker of the NDS-OM platform. While providing the access to the NDS-OM platform to its constituents or clients, so if the stockbroker is providing the access to the NDS-OM platform to its constituents or clients, the stockbroker shall ensure compliance with all the regulatory instructions issued by the Reserve Bank of India and the operational guidelines that are issued by the CCIL that has also to be followed. So remember that the overall guidelines are given by the Reserve Bank of India, but there will be some operational guidelines that will be issued by the CCIL. So the stockbrokers have to follow both of these, okay? So the decision of the Reserve Bank of India will be final. If RBI wants to give approval, RBI will give. If RBI do not want to give, RBI will not. If RBI want to suspend, RBI can suspend. So RBI's decision would be final, okay? Now coming to what SEBI has said. So this is a very brief 2-3 minutes of the discussion that we have to do. But till now, any confusion anyone has? Is it clear? Is everything clear? So see, RBI has provided the access to the NDS-OM platform to the stockbrokers. Now stockbrokers, they are under the regulation of the SEBI. So in a way, the stockbrokers will be handled by RBI also and will be handled by the SEBI also. So there will be some problem that can come because SEBI is a different regulator, RBI is a different regulator. There is some net worth criteria that can, or there are different criterias, or the stockbrokers can they can create some problems, right? Because there are different regulators that are imposing different directions. So the SEBI has clear-cut said a few things that will make these guidelines more clear, okay? So let's discuss this. So SEBI mandates separate units for brokers to trade government securities on NDS-OM platform. So SEBI has directly said, the Securities and Exchange Board of India has directly said that if the stockbroker want to access the NDS-OM platform, then the stockbroker needs to open their separate business unit, need to have a separate business unit that will have a different account, that will keep the different book and that will keep different account, okay? So SEBI on Tuesday mandated brokers to establish a separate business unit to trade in government securities. So if the stockbroker want to have the access of the NDS-OM platform and they want to, so if the stockbrokers want to provide their clients the access to the NDS-OM platform, so the stockbrokers need to establish a separate business unit through which they can get access to the NDS-OM platform, okay? So through which they can have the NDS-OM access. So basically, this is the circular that was released by the SEBI. So we will just discuss the highlights. So stockbrokers shall ensure that activities of the NDS-OM under a separate business unit are segregated and ring-fenced from the securities market. So basically, SEBI is saying that the stockbroker functioning in the securities market and the separate business unit and their functioning in the NDS-OM market should be kept separate at an arm's length. This is literally written in the circular. This is the circular snippet from the circular that the SEBI has said that the functioning of the securities market and the functioning of the NDS-OM or the access of the stockbroker to the NDS-OM should be kept at an arm's length. Okay, so the stockbroker shall ensure that the activities of the NDS-OM through the separate business unit are segregated and ring-fenced. They are segregated, they are ring-fenced from the securities market related activities of the stockbroker, and arm's length relationship between these activities are maintained. So securities market activities and the NDS-OM activities, they have to be maintained at an arm's length. They cannot be merged together. They cannot, like the stockbroker cannot merge the accounts together. Okay, such separate business units shall be exclusively engaged in activities of transacting on NDS-OM, and this separate business unit cannot access the securities market. It is specifically for the NDS-OM only. Stockbrokers shall prepare and maintain a separate account for the separate business unit on arm length basis. That means their accounts cannot be merged, their accounts cannot be taken together. Separate accounts have to be maintained for the securities market and the functioning of stockbroker in the securities market, and the functioning of stockbroker and the excess of stockbroker in the NDS-OM. Okay, so the net worth of the separate banking unit shall be kept segregated from the total net worth of the stockbroker. Net worth criteria for the stockbroker shall be satisfied after excluding the account of the separate business unit. Let's say that there are number of clients of the stockbroker that are accessing the NDS-OM platform, that are trading through the NDS-OM platform. So these clients, they are providing some some margin, some money to the stockbroker for this facility, because of course if a entity is providing you a facility, they will not provide you for free, so they will take some cut. Okay, so the stockbroker, if they are providing their clients the access to the NDS-OM platform, so let's say a lot of clients are trading in the NDS-OM platform through the stockbroker, so clients will give some percentage. Now let's say the stockbroker is making a lot of profit. So this profit will be shown in the account of the stockbroker or the separate business unit. You tell me that in which account this profit will be shown. So this profit will be shown in the stockbroker main account, or the profit will be shown in the account of the separate business unit. So basically the profit or any money that is in the area of the NDS-OM, so that will be shown in the account of the separate business unit. So it's not like that the profit that you are making through the NDS-OM platform, you cannot show it in the securities market. That is the basic idea. Okay, so the accounts of the SBU, the accounts of the separate business unit has to be kept separate. The profits that you are making or the losses that you are making in the NDS-OM platform, that should not be shown in the main account. That is the idea. Okay, very good. As the activities of the separate business unit shall be under the jurisdiction of another regulator. So simply the SEBI has said that this activity that you are doing under the SBU, they will be under the RBI regulation. So SEBI has no role in it. The grievance redressal mechanism and investor protection fund of the stock exchanges and the scores platform of the SEBI shall not be available for the investors that are availing the services of the SBU. So simply the SEBI has said that securities market is our domain, that we will take care of. The SBU, that is the separate business unit, that will work in the domain of the RBI. So our facilities will not be provided there. Simply this is the idea. Okay, and this is the circular of the SEBI. So this is the idea. Now coming to the many of the students, they were asking me to bring the question from the last session and discuss it. So I've brought it, and I have brought some questions from this session also. But do tell me that everything is clear. So here, let's discuss this question. So first of all, Reserve Bank had issued the scale-based regulation. So this is the question from the last session. Many of you answered D. So that was the correct answer. Okay. So here the correct statement regarding the scale-based regulatory framework is one only, because the regulatory structure for NBFCs shall comprise of 4 layers based on their size, activity and riskiness. Correct. Now once an NBFC is classified as NBFC upper layer, they will be kept in the NBFC upper layer for 5 years. Okay. The upper layer, not top layer. Top layer should remain empty per se. The upper layer should ideally have top 10 NBFCs on the basis of asset size. So second and third statements were wrong. Only one was correct. So D was the answer. Now here I was surprised that many of you answered the question as D. Now just tell me very clearly that the Reserve Bank of India, for managing the liquidity, for providing the liquidity, has undertaken the variable repo rate operation or variable reverse repo rate operation. What RBI has done? So RBI is injecting the liquidity in the banking system, for which RBI has done the open market operation, purchase auction. That is correct. RBI is purchasing the government securities and giving the money to the banks. Okay, so that there is more money in the economy. Okay. Now, variable rate reverse repo, this is not conducted by RBI right now. Variable repo rate is being conducted by the RBI right now. So, 56-day variable repo rate operation or auction is conducted by the RBI, where the RBI is giving the loans to the banks at the variable repo rate. Okay. At the reverse, when we talk about reverse repo rate, RBI will be taking the deposits. RBI will be sucking out the liquidity. That is not what RBI want. RBI want to inject the liquidity. So RBI is conducting variable rate repo auction, not reverse. Okay. So this was actually wrong. USD INR buy sell swap is of $5 billion for a tenure of 6 months. So second and third statements were wrong and only the first statement was correct. So here also the answer was D. Okay. So whenever you are reading the question, read it very, very carefully. The questions are being made for you to be confused. Okay. Some questions maybe I have done some mistakes, so I will also clarify that. But in these questions, you did the mistake. So do read the question carefully. Now coming to this question, this is the homework question. I hope you will be able to answer this question. Do read the question carefully and you will answer this correctly. Okay. So this is the second question. I hope you will be able to answer this question also correctly. So do give me the right answer of this question also. Okay. So these are the two questions. Do give me the right answer of the homework question and do tell me that are you liking these sessions? I am explaining the sessions and the sessions are getting a little lengthy. So just tell me in the comment section below that are you liking these sessions? Should we continue with such sessions or should I like reduce the material? Okay, whatever you want, that will be done. So do give me the right answer of the homework question and do tell me that these sessions are good for you or do you want me to reduce the length of the session? Okay, so material will be reduced then. No, Altaf, sorry. So you can call at you can mail at hello@edutap.co.in or you can call at this number. So the team will be able to help you. But as per my understanding, I don't think there is any course as such. But do call in this number or do mail here so that you have the clear understanding that what we are providing. Okay, then thank you everyone. Thank you so much for joining the session. So today is holiday for the whole team. So the PDF will be provided on Monday. Usually the PDF is provided within 24 hours, but as the team is on holiday, so maybe by Monday you will get the PDF, okay? So this is it. Thank you everyone. Thank you for coming. And yes, in the next session, we are going to do the payment system report. So it was taking me a little time to cover that report because it was very theoretical. And I am bringing the material that is actually relevant from your exam perspective. So it was taking me time to segregate the material. So in the next session, we will do the payment system report, okay? And do tell me in the comment section if you are liking these